There's a phenomenon that happens with many men I meet who finally reach out to be coached and guided by someone like myself between the ages of 32 to 35 years old. It's like their dark night of the soul. What worked for them in the past no longer works. The things that brought them excitement, like such as being able to hook up with women, to get like some type of social value and currency, doesn't matter anymore. Many of their friends might be getting married, but they're not. The family life maybe is not for them. So they might live a more nomadic life in a way, like it looks like they have their act together. And they might be intelligent. They might be thinking they're making conscious choices. And they avoid, having that kind of typical family life because they want to explore life. And even if they reach some level of financial success or they end up dating the model, they start feeling that emptiness. They realize that that whole motivation they had at first to say, get through college or get that first job or to just work towards something is gone. Because what happens to many of us, particularly if we don't mature, is that we don't actually go through our rites of passage of becoming a man. In other words, while we can be financially successful, while we can maybe have arm candy next to us, like a beautiful woman, even if we have game where we seem to just be charming and people like us, to where we might even be able to fool a therapist that we have our act together, we have to see ourselves in the mirror every day. We have to look at the man we have become. And what ends up happening with many of these men I'm talking about is that they realize that this act is no longer working. In fact, while they might not have, say, the chaotic family life they don't want or the responsibilities that they don't want, they start experiencing like this lack of meaning. They realize that they just been kind of avoiding accountability and really leaning in. And so all these things that worked for them in their 20s that they maybe would not be called out for, because in your 20s, you're expected to kind of try out life, move around, change jobs, maybe be with different partners. But something happens for a lot of men when they hit that kind of early 30s because they realize that, oh, this has no substance. Oh, what am I actually going to do when I hit 40? Oh, my friends are graduating, in their careers or their families. They're starting to create their nest. Whereas this man or the type of men I'm talking about, they feel like they have nothing to show for. The only thing they might have is like time freedom. The only thing they might have is like life experiences to share, which there's value in that. But there's this emptiness they go through. And every one of us, both men and women, have to go through this dark night of the soul. We have to grow up. Of course, women might have their own version of that. It could be where, oh, I'm now in my 30s and I realize I'm not married and maybe I will not have children or something else. But right now I'm specifically talking about men in their early 30s. And so if you're hearing this video, if this is resonating with you, you're not alone. But it's time to find your purpose beyond where you were in college, where you were when you were a teenager. It's time for you to kind of lean into taking personal responsibility, because while it maybe seems like something difficult and you want to avoid, well, you're still left there with that fear. You're still left there with the inability to move forward and maybe claim the woman you want to marry or claim the career that you really want to do, whether you want to be an entrepreneur or something else. So if this resonates with you, I would love to hear what you have to say about this. Leave some comments down below, but you're not alone. And just know we all have to mature at some point. Thank you. I'm Dr. Ray.